Okay, boys and girls, fractions and whole number multiplication. So this may bring it on just a little clearer today. Charlene has 5 1-pound bags of sand. Each a different color. For an art project, she will use 3/8 pounds of each bag of sand to create a colorful sand art jar. How much sand will Charlene's sand art jar? Will be in Charlene's sand art jar. Multiply a fraction by a whole number. Okay, so if we're going to model this, we would model to show 5 groups of 3/8. So we would have 5 of these. And we would shade 3/8 in each model. So we would rearrange them so it would be easier to see. So is what we're really doing then is we're taking 3, 6, 9, because we know there's 8 in each one, and 3 more, and 3 more. And we came up with how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This last one shouldn't be filled in. All right, so what do we have here? We have 14 eighths. Or 15 eighths, sorry. So we know this is an improper fraction. So how many times does 8 go into 15? 1. Well, how many are left over? We got a minus 8 from there, so we have 7 eighths. So we know she used 1 7/8 pounds of sand. Now, if you're going to write it, it's much easier to think of it this way, in my opinion. I'm really doing what? I had 5 groups of 3/8, which is 15 eighths. And I know 15 eighths, to write it in its simplest form, is 1 7/8. So do you see what we did here is when we had the problem like this, I knew that I had this many equal parts, because this told me how many parts I had to break it into. Well, that's why we said at the beginning, the denominator tells us how many parts we're going to break it into. This is how many parts we need. So we needed 5 equal groups of 3, so that gave us 15. So that will help you think about when you do a multiplication fact that. So let's see if this helps. So if we're going to model this, we have these 4, and we got to break them into what? How many equal parts will each one be? 3 equal parts. All right? And of each one, I'm going to need 2 of those parts, which I'm really going to think about. 2 times 4 is 8. So I need 8. If these are in 3 parts, how many of these am I going to need? I'm going to need 8. So I got all of this. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all I need when I put them together. So what do I have? 2 whole and 2 thirds. Now, if I look at it this way, which is the way I like to do it, I can model it to prove it. But if I think about it this way, I got 2 times 4. So 2 times 4, because my 3 told me how many equal parts I needed it broke into. That doesn't change my denominator. So I take 2 times 4 is 8. And I know that that's an improper fraction. That's 8 thirds. So how many 3's can go into 8? Well, 2 can go in there. That's 6. So I subtract that. 2 thirds. 2 and 2 thirds. So when you're multiplying fractions, they wanted you to see how much it was when you did the model. But now that you kind of get the gist of what they're really doing, it's just really taking, we know our denominator isn't going to change. So we have an 8 here. But we know we need 4 equal parts of how many parts we're cutting it into. So I know I need 4 times 7 equals 28 eighths. So I have 28 eighths, which I know is an improper fraction. So how many times can 8 go into 28? Well, 8 can go into 28 three times, sorry. And that's 24. What do I have left? 4 eighths. I can simplify that with 3, and I divide them both by 4 because the common factor of both of them is 4. 1/2. Now, I would like you to take the time and just draw this out quick like this and see if that's what you got. Then I would like you and your partner to do B and see if it works out. Then we'll go to share what we know. So go to work and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at the algebra part here to see what the unknown would be. So remember with algebra, we got to kind of think backwards. So I know my numerator is going to be what? 2, right? So I'm going to leave it as 2, but now what times 8 equals will get me 4 equal ones. So how many 8 equal parts of 2 will I need to make 4? So what do you think it is? So what would you talk to your partner for just a minute and decide what would you do with that to try and figure it out? How would you work backwards to figure that one out? Well, if I think about it, I think how many equal parts of 2 will I need times 8 to get 4? Well, half of 8 is 4, so I think 1/2. 1/2 times 8, that would be 8 over 2. How many 2's go into 8? 4. Okay, let's look at this one. All right, I know it's going to be a whole number. So what times 3, what times 6 is going to equal 20? Well, I'm just going to say 4 because 4 times 5 equals 26. That was kind of easy. All right, now we have 1 whatever equals 18. Well, 3 times what will get me to 18? Because 1 times 18 is 18. What divided by 18 will equal 3 whole? 6. If you need more explanation on that, please call me over and I'll help you with those. All right, we were doing 1, 2, 3, 4. We did these together. And let's skip this part for now. Do the evens on here. Show me your work, whether you do it like this, which I prefer, because I think that's what's going to happen with you with multiplying. You're going to say, oh, if that's all I have to do, multiplying fractions is really easy. And really, that is all you have to do. So let's do the evens on here, not 12, 1 or 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. If time, go back and unlock the problem here and see how well you do.